In business, as temperatures fall across South Africa, the chance of electricity blackouts is rising. Spare supply on Eskom's network fell to only 2% yesterday, and Eskom CEO Brian Dames has admitted supply will be tight until mid-June at least, while some power units are being maintained. Dames was speaking at African Utility Week, which brings together thousands of professionals from more than 60 countries. That's underway in Johannesburg this week. Well, we are joined by Mr. Dames, CEO of Eskom tonight. Thank you for joining us. How tight is tight? Should we be mentioning that swear word to South Africans, load shedding?
We've always been clear that we have no intent to ever go back to the load shedding days. We've made it clear that alone we can't deal with the power system demand, and therefore have made a call on all customers to save, particularly now that we're doing extensive amount of maintenance. And really the context of today's discussion is that at this time of year, normally we would have reduced our maintenance program leading into winter. This year it's been different. We've done more than 12% maintenance every month for since the beginning of this year. And so our call to customers is really, as we get into winter, let's really pay attention to our electricity use getting into winter. Our intent is not to get to the load shedding events.
What does it mean, though? Because Malusi Gigaba, the minister, was here a week ago saying we will not have blackouts this winter. Are you saying there is a chance we could have blackouts if people do not save?
I think we've been quite clear in how we manage the power system, and we have done it very successfully since 2008, and we've had no load shedding since 2008, and it's our full intent that that is the case going forward. And we have many actions that we've put in place with large customers, with small customers to play this role. But in winter, our energy demands change significantly. Between 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night, all of us increase our demand significantly.
Is there a chance of blackouts?
From our perspective, with the help of consumers, there's no need for us to go back to load shedding. From our perspective.
We often forget that you not only supply electricity to South Africa, but to Southern Africa. Apparently Swaziland are already complaining you have had to cut back, so they are experiencing cuts, is that correct?
We have from across our customer base have a clear priority in terms of the supply of our customers, and obviously if the situation is tight in South Africa, we engage with our customers. We go to large customers and see where can customers shift demand, particularly over the peak periods at every evening, and the same holds for those customers where we export electricity.
Does that mean Swaziland is experiencing reduced supply at the moment?
Not at the moment. Earlier this week we have asked all our customers where we can find demand, and all our contracts that we have with countries outside of South Africa are supplied in terms of those contracts.
Because you do prioritize South Africa, don't you?
Many of those contracts that we have with our neighboring countries are not fixed contracts. And so where we do have fixed contracts for fixed supply, we will meet those, and we've been meeting those and continue to do so going forward.
Today you said that it's in the interest of South Africa to secure power supply across the continent. You were also talking about not delaying these big infrastructure decisions that have to be made. Tell me a bit more about your message to Utility Week.
Yeah, I think our discussions today at Utility Week is really in the context of the fact that the electricity system is a long-term industry, and therefore the situation we're discussing tonight is about decisions that's been made some 10 years and more ago. So we don't want to end up in that position again. So the early decision making is very important. Certainty in terms of regulation and all of those aspects are important. And really from our perspective, we have a plan as a country. We now need to see the implementation of that plan, and I know government is working on that.
There was some excitement today about renewable energy, a lot of bidders coming on board, but the UN has stated a criticism saying that maybe the legislation hasn't been right. People were excited, they wanted to provide renewable energy, but you're only getting that right now. What do you say to that? Do you think the process has been handled fairly?
Fairly well. If you look at the interests from many players on the renewable space, you'll see that that process from a South African perspective has been handled very, very well. And these are part of the choices we have to make as a country. We want cleaner energy as a country. We want to diversify our energy mix. And there's a process that actually allows for feed-in tariffs, so the renewables are fed into the system at a tariff higher than the current system. And therefore the consumers will then, we all have to pick up that cost for that clean energy. But from a process perspective, globally recognized as a very well-managed process by the government.
All right, thank you for joining us this evening. That was the CEO of Eskom, Brian Dames.